All right, Michael, today I'm going to flip the script on you and I want to ask you some questions about YouTube because I've been spending a lot of money and a lot of time growing my YouTube channel. And a lot of people say it's easy and it's really hasn't been that easy for me. So I'll be the first one to say, I was doing the math last night. I spent about $100,000 so far in the last 6 or 7 months on growing my audience, my YouTube channel and everything like that. And I feel like I have some really great guests, some really great videos, great edits, great videographer. And I'm just hitting some roadblocks. So I'm interested to hear some of your takes on it. I think a lot of people would love to hear that too. Is that cool for you?
Oh, absolutely. Again, I give you kind of the resume real quick. I can only answer what I've done. I've been doing YouTube for 5 years, 50, just past the 50,000 sub mark. Done 11,000 videos, if you can believe that. And I haven't spent 100 grand on my channel combined in 5.5 years.
Well,
Never edited a video. Also, that might surprise you. But yeah, let's get started and see if I can help
cool.
you and maybe help others.
Well, I think there's a lot of people spending time and money, and I look at time like money. So here's my list. I bought some training. I have a full-time videographer and I have a full-time social media person. So I did include my social media person, but
Sure.
she doesn't really deal with YouTube that much. So maybe we take out 12,000 of that. So
Fair enough.
So the first thing is, if you started 5 years ago, would you say that it's easy? It would have been easier to start 5 years ago, or the people that are thinking about starting right now? Is there any advantage that they have to starting right now, or disadvantage that they have starting right now?
Well, I guess I would take that question differently. I only can answer with my story. If I knew what I knew now and I started today, it would be easier today. 5 years ago, I had a harebrained idea. I was depressed. I needed an outlet. YouTube became a way for me to give. And the first year, so here's something that probably surprised a lot of people. A lot of people come to YouTube chasing money. I'm not saying that's your thing. You're chasing impact and growth. I get it. But most people come for money. In the first year, I produced 1,000 videos in a year and made $0. A lot of people come to this and create 10 videos and say nobody watches it. What the heck? So what I would do today is I would do a couple of things that work for me. Is one, so I call them the millionaires, right? I have 8 to 10 millionaires that come back every week. We have a scheduled time. Anna Kelly, 8 a.m. Wednesdays. Jonathan, 7:30 Thursdays, right? There's 8 to 10 of these that come back. And we record 3 shows in an hour. And so really, my world is made up of 10 people. So one rental at a time is not Mike Zuber talking in front of camera. It's Mike Zuber talking with Anna and Jonathan, because everybody has a different skill set. Jonathan's doing syndications. Anna started with Section 8 housing. I have a small business guy, Bo, that does small business loans. So you build a community that way. I think that's the first thing, is I wouldn't try to do it alone. I would try to find 5 people, one a day, that says, hey, every Monday at 9, we're talking. Every Tuesday at 8, we're talking, whatever works for them. And then people start to find their person, because again, nobody can watch all the videos. I put out 6 videos a day, but everybody has their person. And then the other thing that I found work, and I didn't find this until like after a year and a half, is I finally found my rhythm, my thing. So I produce a daily financial news show 5 days a week. It used to be 7, but now it's 5 days a week, 7:30 a.m. And Bill, I do it live and get interaction from folks. I would tell you, doing stuff live, most people don't do enough of that. Most people want to record.
Actually going live on YouTube for this,
right?
And people are interacting and then watching it after.
Yeah, so that one playlist is the only thing on my channel that is really mine. I average between 200 and 250 people live, 7:30 a.m. Pacific, for about 15 to 20 minutes. And then that video gets about 5,000 views a day. That is clearly, every day, that is my most watched video. So people have come to expect that. Consistency is amazing. Like if you did something that said, you know what, 4 p.m., I'm going to go live for 10 minutes about one word or one vocabulary or one thing, people would come to appreciate that. So I really think the Daily Show, the fact that I've hit 7:30 a.m. 90% of the time is amazing. Now, sometimes I travel, sometimes I have life events, but you know what? I record it and post it at 7:30 because that's when people expect it. So those are a couple of things that I think not enough people do. Your YouTube channel should be your universe, not just Bill Allen. So consistent characters, think about being a, CNN or MSNBC, and you have your little people, or like Dave Ramsey, he's creating Ramseyites or whatever he's calling them.
Yep.
So it becomes more than you. So those are two first things to throw at you.
Awesome. So you answered one of my questions. How important is consistency? I think it sounds like it's really, really important to be consistent and communicate that. How have your videos changed over time from 5 years ago to now? Like the structure of them? Because a lot of times I'll go back and watch YouTubers that I study early on and then how they are now. How have those changed over time? And if somebody was getting started now, what would you recommend like a structure be? Is there a structure?
So I always give credit where credit is due. I happen to be lucky enough to speak with Sean Cannell from Think Media. I read his book. I've met him. We've talked.
Yep.
Something I did not appreciate the first 3 years, right? 3 years, probably 5,000 videos. I had this opening. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Blah, 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 blah. Horrible opening. Horrible opening. So I think the last year or so, my opening, especially for the daily financial news, is we're going to hit these 3 or 4 things. Then I might, depending on the day, I may say hi or whatever. But the hook, they call it, I guess.
Yep, the hook.
The first 10 seconds, I appreciate now, and I arrogantly or novice didn't even think about it for 3 years. So I would tell you my opening is far more focused today than, 2 years ago, for sure.
Do you think it matters? So that hook in the beginning, so I totally agree. And in fact, we've done a lot of tests. I'm an engineer, data nerd, especially I'm growing an Instagram channel right now too, is a negative hook. So if I can turn something into a negative, like the 3 things you want to avoid versus the 3 things to do, I found beats it like 3 to 1 on everybody's channel that I studied too. So
doom sells.
Yeah, for sure.
Doom
so
clicks.
So do you think it matters after that hook?
No. So like this morning, I did a daily financial news. Today's the 23rd of August. I think my opening line was something like, new home prices crash 8.3%, which is factually correct. But then because I am not a doomer and I never want to be put there, I don't know, about minute 2 of the video, I explained, well, yes, it's factually correct, but let's not get it twisted. Builders are building smaller homes, so it's not the earth-shattering news. Don't be scared by all these doomers. So, I did that.
Yeah, and by the way, I would watch that video for sure. So if I saw that hook, I'd watch it. And I think a lot of people would, because they're interested in this. This is the headlines that you see on media. So it pulls people in, and then if you deliver on that, it's very interesting. Yeah. So I love that.
Don't fight it, use it. Don't fight it. And just so you know, use that on your title. So my daily financial news has a very similar format. It's the date, financial news, like August 23rd, financial news. My first words were, new home prices crash. Give the audience what they want. But then when you deliver the material, I will never be accused of being a doomer or a crash bro. But I will educate you. I will try to insulate you. I will try to protect you. And, I'm chasing impact. So one of the things that I can tell you by doing it this way, and I can say this with full faith and confidence, my community will never be as big as the doomers. Yeah. But I promise you this, my people are doing the work in this crazy market and getting great deals. If you are a doomer, like I use this sports analogy, I'm a sports analogy guy. There are people in the parking lot that are drunk and loud. They are not my people. If you're on the couch, being drunk and loud, not my thing. If you're in the stands, you bought a ticket, oh boy, I am loving on you. I'm helping you. I'm answering your questions. And then if you're on the field, there are other people that can help with that, like yourself, right? I don't, I have a property manager. I don't get my hands dirty, right? So that's how I see the world. I do not worry about the drunk assholes in the parking lot. I worry about the people that are in the even if you're in the nosebleeds, I care about you.
So I love that. And I think you have very clear on who you're for and who you're not for. And so I've spent a lot of time there on building out my avatar and who I'm actually making videos for, and then figuring out how to attract those people. Then the next question I have is, how do you prepare for your videos? And so you're doing a daily news update. You're also interviewing people on a consistent basis. You're putting out tons of content. How do you prepare ahead of time, and how much time do you spend to do that?
So the daily financial news is something this activity I've been doing for 30 years. So this is not net new to my life other than taking notes. So I'm an early bird. I'm up before 5:30 every day without an alarm clock for 15 years. I read the financial news for 60 to 90 minutes, depending on the day. I take notes on a piece of paper now, like here are my notes from this morning, right? 2 pages. And that's what I take care of, right? So I find like these notes probably had 12 topics and I chose 5 or 6 of them and I just run through those. I have a whiteboard that kind of behind me on my news that kind of are, so I don't get, confused on the order, but that's the daily financial news. That's the most prep. Now, when I talk to the 2 or 3 millionaires Sunday through Thursday, because I no longer record on Friday and Saturday, we get on the phone, much like we just did. We talk for 2 to 3 minutes about what is happening in their business, because my millionaires are in the business. These are not practitioners who read a book. These are people that are running 7-figure business or 7-figure balance sheets, and they're buying and selling and making moves. Some people, we talk about losses, we talk about wins, and we just roll. I aim for 10 to 12 minutes, 15 minutes on the outset. That is what I found works for my audience. But yeah, it's almost no prep. It's because we're all doing this job. We're not making stuff up. We're like, how do we talk like novations in our first video? I've never done one. I would never talk about them, right? We only talk about what's working. So my live videos would shock people how little prep we do.
Awesome. So those are all live too?
Well, I record them live and I don't edit them.
Okay.
I record them live, like you and I are talking now. This will be video 2. It's recording right now. When we're done, I'll hit stop. When we're done recording, I'll save, and then I'll just upload them. No edits, no tweaking, no fancy walkout music or whatever. Just go.
Huh. Okay, that was going to be my next question. You said you've never edited a video. Like, is somebody working with you to do that? How do you insert the hook at the beginning? Like, what? And none of that stuff is happening.
None, 0, nothing.
Wow. Okay, I love it. That's incredible. What about what are you more focused on? Views of a video or subscribers to the channel? Like, where should somebody focus in YouTube, and what are some ways to kind of increase the two?
Views are what matters to YouTube. So the only answer is views. Subs is a vanity metric. It's views that matter. Like you can look at the analytics, new viewers and all of those things. It's definitely a view-based system. So there are tools. The tool that, again, Sean Cannell, I always give credit where credit is due. I bought vidIQ. Yeah, you could do some analysis. You can have AI help you with the titles, because I don't write well and I spell even worse. Right. So that's the one tool that I use personally, just for titles. Now, after about 3 years, I do pay someone to do something, but it's not edit videos. It's to create thumbnails.
Oh yeah.
So I spend a couple of grand a month creating thumbnails for all, for, I don't know, 50 videos or whatever it is a week. And then he posts to a podcast and some other stuff for me, but that's where I spend money, is thumbnails. So for me, the order is thumbnail, title, hook. Because a great hook means nothing if the title and thumbnail suck.
Yeah. So do you make more than one thumbnail for each video? And then kind of, if the video is not performing, you're cycling them through or not?
I've never bothered doing that. I don't split test. I do 6 videos a day. I'm on every 3 hours, a new one comes out. So I'm on to the next one. I probably should, but I don't.
Well, so I have a few friends that have really big channels, and they do short, like less videos. So you seem to be on the, I'm going to do a lot of content side. They're on a very much, I'm going to spend a lot of time on one piece of content to kind of build that. So it's an interesting difference. So the thumbnail is really important.
Yeah. So I want to go, because again, I get that a lot, right? And let's be clear, I am by no means a massive channel. I am, there are people that spend lots of time analyzing words and, things of that nature. I'm chasing impact. I want to make sure that the few people that watch my stuff, I'm helping change and improve their lives. I don't necessarily want, like, if you want a big channel and lots of views, you have to do that because you're worried about the parking lot. I don't give a rat's ass about the people in the parking lot. There are millions of more people in the parking lot than there are in the stands. I am focused on the stands. There are thousands, tens of thousands on the stands. If you want a massive channel and massive reach and massive views, you've got to change your content, because you've got to address the people in the parking lot. I don't care about drunk idiots in the parking lot, so I don't worry about it.
Yeah, the challenge I've always had is a lot of that. It's like in order to grow a really big audience. And so, by the way, it's not necessarily money. You mentioned money in the beginning that I'm looking for. It's basically attention, eyeballs. I really think the new currency is attention. And so then you can figure out how to point to the best products, the best things that you have. The challenge I have is good people like us are losing to the people who can build more attention that are selling crap. And so, what I'd like to do is build great people and sell them really great stuff when I have it.
So here's just the reality of the world we live in. There's a universe of people watching YouTube. Then there's a subset of that will actually take action. I care about the subset. Yeah. I don't care about the universe that watch this stuff. I want to know the people that are truly interested, truly motivated. I want the people that are, I think Kobe Bryant said, are you interested or committed?
Yeah.
I don't care about the interested. And you're right. There are people that talk. So I have channels that I watch because of vidIQ. I can geek out on stats of other channels that I consider crash bros. They are bigger. They have more views. They are making more money on YouTube. And I don't care. The people that they address aren't doing nothing. They're renters. They're living in their mom's basement. They're not my people. I want to change people's lives. And if you're committed, I have a proven way. Thousands of people helped. I wrote a book on how I went from losing 80% of my stock market wealth to retiring at 45. It's all there. If you want to get on the train, I'm here. But that's the big deal, is Bill, you are going to wrap yourself around the axle, trying to create the best content for people that will never take action. Ignore them. They're drunk idiots who have no money. I don't care about them. That's the thing. So it took me a while to get over it. If you go back and watch some of my videos years ago, you can see I was clearly perturbed by it. But eventually I figured out I don't create content for drunk idiots who have no money. It's not my problem.
I like that a lot. Here's what I wrote down, like the 3 steps. And it's interesting because I feel like I can apply this to talking to you in a channel who has your drive, talking to some other people that have different channels. It's develop a plan, have the ability to execute on that plan, and to be consistent in what you're doing. And so I feel like you can almost plug that little 3-step framework into any of these channels and see that that's why they're being successful. Like they have a plan that they can articulate exactly what they're doing. They're executing on it, and they're being extremely consistent on that. And so how often one more question I'd say, how often has your plan changed over the last 5 years? Like you started seeing differences and you said, I need to change what I'm doing.
I would say I'm always looking to improve. I'm always looking for advice. I would say I've had the first 2 years I was struggling because I didn't find my voice. I didn't find what made me feel good. So you see lots of changes. And if you go on my channel, you could look at the playlists and you could see I was all over the place, right? Doing all kinds of things. But eventually you find what resonates and what makes you feel good. So I would say I changed a lot, maybe every 3 months, the first couple of years, because I was trying to figure it out. Then going forward, it was about becoming better at my attempts, right? I paid for a thumbnail guy. I bought vidIQ. I invited more millionaires, right? So my base structure hasn't changed in a couple of years, but I've gotten better. Think Media, Sean Cannell tells me to do the hook. He says, Michael, your hook sucks. You don't even have a hook. What are you doing? He's an expert. I changed the hook. So yeah, I would say now I still have, once or twice a year, I change something meaningful, because it's always changing. And I mean, just for example, I got feedback from Sean Cannell that I was producing too much content. Putting out a video every 2 or 3 hours from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. is too much. I never get a chance to have the YouTube algorithm spin out of control. So I thought about that. And I'm like, does that bother me? The answer is no, it doesn't bother me. But I did just create a new channel called the Daily Financial News, because it is the one thing that I do every day that I know can attract more people. So what am I doing on that channel? I'm having my people take my live session. They are now adding in the splashy stuff, the videos, the cuts, the this, the that. And it's going live at 6 p.m. 5 days a week. But here's the deal. I'm doing nothing new. My main channel is my main channel, not editing videos. But that other channel already has like 1,600 subs, 3,000 watch hours, and has been out for 28 days. So again, that will attract, but it will hopefully always feed back to the main channel, one rental at a time.
Yeah, I like that. And so it's just like a little tweak in the strategy. You know, you got the plan, the execution, and the consistency, and then okay, our strategy might change of how we're going to use this. Same thing. I'm kind of splintering off and able to put things in different areas where my plan is I have this much time. This is who I want to serve. This is my plan to do. And then if we can utilize that for other areas that don't cost me any more time, because it's the most valuable resource I have. Well, thank you for this. Plan, execution, consistency, thumbnail, title, hook. I've got a bunch of notes, and there are things that I'm going to utilize to help grow my channel.
Yeah. Then just the last thing, I know we hit on it. You will, I am like you in so many ways. This may happen to you, may will happen in the future, is you will look at others in the space that you know aren't delivering the value that you're delivering, but they're growing faster. Yeah. Remember who you're serving. My analogy is sports. I don't care about the parking lot. I care about the stands. You will find where you want to play. And as long as you feel good about serving them every day, which I know you will, let that other stuff go, because don't chase the flash. Focus on impact, being the go-giver that I know you are, and why I put you on the Mount Rushmore of real estate investors. So there you go.
I love it. It's great advice. Great advice, because it is easy to compare, isn't it? It's like easy for all of us to compare.
There you go. Well, Bill, thank you very much. And again, folks, there's a masterclass that he's putting on today, the 23rd and the 24th. I'll put a link below. It is free. It is 3 hours. You're going to hear about getting lists. You're going to hear about seller financing, novation, all this good stuff. Let them know you came from ORAT if you attend. I would appreciate it. Thank you so much, Bill.
Thanks, Michael.